everybody now. Mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts. How do we like our martial arts? Oh, we like them mixed.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Are we live, Casey? Are we live?
Oh,
Are we live
yeah.
now? Oh, my God. Okay. I see people in the comments asking, is this going to be a solo show? Obviously not. It is not just Alexander K. Lee. That is me speaking right now. It is also Casey Leydon, of course. You heard Casey the music. It's drowning. It's coming in a little hot.
That's because this card is hot, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are back. We are back in Nashville. We're back in Smashville. What a great time it is. Hello, everyone. It's not going to be a solo show. It's about as close to a solo show as you can get, though, as you are getting the rarely employed tag team of Alexander K. Lee and Casey Leydon. Casey, how did this happen? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in a hotel room in New York City. Not Nashville.
Yes. You are covering, the real big story of the week. The fight going down in a few hours. Some people will be listening to this on Saturday. The fight will have already gone down. Of course, you're talking about the incredible Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano trilogy bout. But for right here, you're talking about UFC Nashville, guys. That is going down Saturday. That's going down tomorrow. How's everybody doing?
Rumor has it there's a UFC.
Tell me.
Rumor has it.
Yes, it's not like, I feel like it hasn't exactly been on everybody's tongue. I feel like the buzz is a little subdued around the card with respect to Derrick Lewis, with respect to Tallison Teixeira, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Calvin Kattar, Nate Landwehr, some of the very talented veterans that are competing Saturday. Steve Garcia. Well, I wanted to get to that, Casey. I'm building up. I'm building up the show. Yeah. Yes, I'm building up the show, but I do want to know how you and I ended up doing the show together. What is the last time you and I were given free range to do a show without Mike Heck watching, looking over our shoulder?
Yeah. I would say maybe never.
Never? Yeah, I'm going towards never.
Yeah,
I don't think our senior editor knows that this is happening because he would not have signed off on this. But he's not in town right now, so.
We can do whatever we want.
The mice are out to play, And what we're going to do, what we want to do, Casey, is we want to talk about UFC Nashville. Don't you?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Tell us about your hotel room, Casey.
Oh, it's great. I'm staying at the Fighter Hotel in Manhattan in beautiful New York City. And I'm about 2 blocks away from Madison Circle Garden. It's not a square. And apparently there's some ladies boxing tonight. You can watch free on Netflix with a $7.99 subscription, so it's not free. But and then they tell me there's some mixing of the martial arts going down south in Tennessee and Nashville, and a few heavyweights on the fight. Some good fights, just nothing that kind of means anything, but cool.
Yeah, not that it matters. It's a fight night. They've given Nashville some legitimate name value. There's actually more. As far as
this card, for the lack of buzz or lack of storylines going into it, the actual fighters on the card, there's good fights on the card. I was actually kind of.
Oh, the card is very good. The card is very good. I
thought the card was gonna. I was kind of I do my research, so I was looking up the fights and stuff. I was like, oh, this card is not bad. It's just I don't know. There's a lot of cards.
We've done 2 or 3 shows in 2025 already where we did the whole oh my gosh, is this the worst card since blah 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 gimmick? And we will not have that discussion with this card. This is actually a really good card. We'll get to that in a second. I see Joseph Boza. What's up, Joseph Boza? Always questions and comments. Saying it's rare. It's rare when Casey helps out with one of these preview shows. I agree. Usually Casey is obstructing the preview shows. Actually, he's really getting in the way. Actively trying to make the shows worse. But this time you will be helping, right, Casey? You'll actually be trying to help the show.
Yeah, I don't like this ceiling. I don't like helping. It's like, but whatever. I'm a team player, so I'm here.
Yeah.
For it, so.
Yeah, that's what we like to see. All right, guys, we'll get right to the main event Derrick Lewis versus Tallison Teixeira. One of 3 heavyweight fights in this card, which bodes well for y'all who love the big boys swanging things. I tweeted. In case I never heard about this, I tweeted a couple of weeks ago. Did you hear about that?
Okay.
My tweeting? Yeah.
Yeah.
This was June 28th. This was ahead of UFC Buck. Oh, this was last week, I guess. UFC Baku. Days since last UFC heavyweight finish, 105. So obviously we are over that now. It has not been since Waldo Cortez Acosta defeated Brian Spann via strikes that there's been a finish in the UFC's heavyweight division. Surely that will end on Saturday, if not in the first 2 heavyweight fights of the evening. By the time we get to the main event, Derrick Lewis and Tallison Teixeira. Derrick Lewis rarely goes to a decision, has only done so 7 times in his career, which sounds like a lot, but he's fought 41 times. So yes, not very common. He did, of course, go lose that decision to Almeida, and that was his first decision in 3 years, I think. So if the UFC is looking to give fireworks to Nashville, they certainly succeeded. Young Tallison Teixeira, just 25 years old. 25 years old! That's like being 17-year-old Raul Rosas Jr. In the heavyweight division. He's 8-0. Tallison Teixeira is 8-0. All of his finishes coming in the first round. So exciting stuff here. Casey, what's your level of anticipation? Not just for the whole card, like I said, we think the whole card is good, but for this particular main event, are you very confident we will see the UFC heavyweight finish drought end on Saturday evening?
Oh, I hope not. I hope not. I hope we
Casey.
get a shot. I hope we get, was it 2? So we have 3, 6. I hope we get 11 rounds of heavyweight mixed martial arts tonight or tomorrow night. 11 rounds, because that's what we deserve. We love the big boys fighting, so let's get them in there as long as possible. I don't want to see a knockout. Who wants to see a knockout? I want like a first round knockout. That just takes away 2 to 3 more rounds of heavyweight action. No, I want to see it all, every single bit. So yeah, I'm hoping we get a lot of wall wrestling. A lot of wall wrestling. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Oh boy, yes, we are still coming off the high that was Mo Usman versus Hamdi Abdelwahab. So I won't hold any of these fights up to that standard. Casey,
I do like the main event. It is okay.
Yes.
In all seriousness, it's a good main event. It makes sense. Is it Tallison? How do you say it? Is it Tallison?
I say Tallison. I think it's a fun way to say it's Tallison because he's so tall. I would say Tallison, but Tallison it's a fun way to say it. He's 6'7" and came in at 259 pounds at Friday's weigh. Yes, big boy.
Yeah, yeah. That's why they don't call him Shortison. Tallison.
They're never gonna let us do a show just you and I again.
Hey, I didn't sign up.
You know
for
that, right?
You just told me to be here.
This combination, people enjoy this show because this combination, it's never gonna happen again. If anyone is in their right mind, it's never.
It's a good main event. It makes sense.
Yes.
Prospect versus vet. This is the fight night main event. This is what they're made for. And the younger guy on paper should win, but can Derrick Lewis still do it? He hasn't fought in over a year, correct? He's been out for over a year.
It has been March of 2020, May of 2024. Excuse me.
Yeah, and he had that mystery pullout. Was like the day of the fight, a few months back. So never got did we ever get the explanation for that?
I don't recall. Not as far as I know.
Yeah, because I remember when we did swing rounds of Derrick Lewis, he kind of jokingly just joked about it. He never gave us a real answer, so whatever. So he's here a year later. Yeah, it's a good fight. Someone should get knocked out. This is why the fight was booked, and there's not really too much to say on it. Like Tallison looks young, athletic, tall. I hear knocks everyone out. Derrick Lewis, the knockout UFC king, future Hall of Famer, just based on knocking people out. So expect some violence or 25 minutes of wall wrestling. Who knows?
Yeah, let's run some numbers here for the Black Beast. Derrick Lewis turned 40 this past February, so congrats to him. 40 years young. This is his 30th UFC appearance. He's second behind Andrei Arlovski, well behind Andrei Arlovski, by the way. Andrei Arlovski far in the lead with 42 UFC appearances. My goodness, but good for Lewis. He's hitting that 30 mark, and second in wins behind Arlovski. A little bit closer here. Arlovski has 23. Lewis has 19, so he'll be going for win number 20. So he could close the gap. There will, I mean, quite likely come a day where Derrick Lewis is the UFC all-time heavyweight leader in heavyweight victories. So nothing to sneeze at there. As you mentioned, KO machine, most KOs in UFC history in any division, and he's tied for fourth for the most UFC stoppages at heavyweight behind. Oh, sorry, most stoppages at all behind Donald Cerrone, Jim Miller, and Charles Oliveira. So if he gets a finish on Saturday, he will tie Cerrone. He'll move into third place, tying the great Cowboy Cerrone. So yeah, a shout out to, of course, always to Mike Bond and Michael Carroll, who always have these great pre-event facts on MMA Junkie. I'll give them a shout out. So yeah, anytime Lewis steps up there, there's a lot of history, there's a lot of excitement. And yeah, there's almost a guarantee of a finish. Again, we've seen some clunkers. We'll always remember the great, Lewis and Ngannou. Oh my gosh, everyone should watch this fight. And if that was like anyone's first UFC fight, boy, they probably never watched UFC again. But
no way that fight's going to decision.
Oh man,
no way.
No way.
That was the classic. This fight ain't going 15 minutes. Don't blink.
I feel confident with this one. If this fight goes past the second round, I could see it maybe coming out of the first round because this is Tallison's first UFC main event. Maybe he doesn't quite come out with the same aggression as usual. A lot of respect, of course, for Derrick Lewis, who has so much more experience than he does. Again, I want to say Tallison has 8 pro fights in total. This is his second UFC fight, and he's already main eventing. Derrick Lewis is in his 30th UFC fight. You can talk about age all you want, but as we've seen with heavyweight, age is not as much of an issue. So yes, Derrick Lewis is 15 years older, but again, how much of an athleticism gap is there? How much of some for sure. Again, we're talking about a 15-year age difference, but this is heavyweight. It's not as big as it would be at bantamweight, featherweight, flyweight, something like that. So lots of things to factor in there. A lot of hope for Tallison. Casey, let's do a little bit of projecting here. Let's say Tallison just smokes Derrick Lewis within 2 minutes. Just takes out a guy who I'm pretty sure will be in the UFC Hall of Fame someday. Where do we go with Tallison? I mean, do you have to vault him into the top 10? I mean, let me see where.
Where do we have Derrick Lewis right now, ranking wise?
We have Derrick Lewis at 15, but the UFC has him. The UFC has him at 9 still. Derrick Lewis is currently a top 10 heavyweight in the UFC's official rankings. Tallison coming in at number 13. So Tallison would take his spot. I mean, do you just throw him in with one of the gentlemen ahead of him? So one of the more another veteran name. That seems kind of crazy,
Yeah, it seems like you beat Derrick Lewis, you get the Marcin Tybura. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what feels like that's that kind of gatekeep. Kind of you beat Derrick Lewis, then you get Tybura, and then I guess once you get past Tybura, you can face we get co-main event on pay-per-views him versus Salsa Boy or something. I don't know.
How about this, Casey? Let me whet your appetite. Let's say Tybura's booked, but let's say Tybura loses his fight to this guy. How about Tallison Teixeira, Ante Delija?
It's all winners.
All
winners.
It's
good. It's
good. You barely moved there. Your face didn't even flinch.
Right here, I'm dancing under here. Like,
you're quick. Okay. Yeah. We've got some real matchups ahead of us, but
I guess how he wins.
Yes.
I don't know actually. What would be a more impressive victory? He just kind of like Pavlovich's him, just kind of beats him and just kind of, I don't know, just knocks him out in a minute? Or would you want to see something more? Like, would maybe a dominant, finish him late in the third round type of victory? I think that would be more impressive to me. It's something that's less exciting, but will show a more well-rounded game. Because I think we kind of want to see him get into kind of some deep waters a bit. I think that's why it's kind of hard to judge these kind of heavyweight prospects because, what was Teixeira's last victory or last couple of victories? That haven't came within 45 seconds type of stuff. Yeah,
35 seconds,
Tapa,
Justin
2 minutes.
Tapa, and under 2 minutes, Arthur Lopez on the Contender Series.
Yeah, so just I'm hoping this fight gets past the first round. So I just want to see more of him, basically. But if he wins quickly, UFC loves that. I'm sure maybe if he drops a good promo, he's not really that type of guy. But who knows? We'll see. But yeah,
Yeah.
the UFC definitely sees star-making potential. I mean, he looks the part, looks good coming off the bus. Yeah, he's tall, apparently. So
They once sold us on a John Jones Alexander Gustafsson main event the first time with, hey, look how long these guys' arms are.
and
Remember that?
we
So like
laughed, and it turned out to be the fight of the year. So they know
one of
something we know.
one of the best UFC title fights ever, honestly. So we were very, very wrong to laugh at that. But I'm saying, yeah, they'll happily like if Talson's a thing, they will happily like promote him as like, oh, look how tall this guy is. Oh my God, plus the finishing ability. Like 6'7" is serious. Like I know we've seen some freaky deaky heavyweights in our day. Of course, we had the great Stefan Struve for many, many years, but 6'7" is tall, man. He could be a real problem. But boy, this is a huge jump up in competition. Again, so you were asking who his last two opponents were. Again, Justin Tafa, kind of a middle of the road heavyweight. Arthur Lopez, again, a guy outside of the UFC. And then we have regional competition who's beating up guys in Brazil. Grain of salt with respect to some of these names you beat. Grain of salt when you're finishing, I would say somewhat lower level competition in the first round. But a win is a win. You can't complain about it. But now he's going up against a guy who has twice challenged for the UFC heavyweight title, who has been in there with some of the best names of all time, frankly. He has wins over these guys. We joked about the Ngannou fight. I mean, he won that fight, kind of. It wasn't like, it was a terrible fight.
He won it. I mean, obviously Derrick Lewis has a lot of health issues coming into the fight. He had a bad back coming into that fight. It was kind of if you go back to that night we don't talk about, Derrick Lewis had really serious back issues. Francis Ngannou was coming off the loss to Stipe, correct? And he had a bad mental block in the fight. He almost rose Namajunas that fight in a fight against Carla,
Sure.
where he overthought it a little bit, and it just turns out to be one of the worst fights I've ever seen. But when you get in the cage 40 times, you'll have one of those nights. So I don't expect that kind of performance. Actually, I expect a really good Derrick Lewis. When I saw Derrick Lewis maybe a month ago for the swing rounds, he was, I think, kind of beginning his camp for this fight. He announced it. He broke it to us that he was fighting some Brazilian guy. He had no idea who it was, but but Derrick Lewis did look in great shape. I'm confident. Actually, this is probably the most fit Derrick Lewis that we may have ever seen. The age thing, though, is a factor, but he's still. I mean, before, like I said, 40 for a heavyweight, ain't too bad. So
Yeah.
it's a good matchup. Good matchup. Is this? I wonder. I'm really curious how the 5-round thing, if it will come into play for this fight, and who is that an advantage for? So I'm assuming it's an advantage for Derrick Lewis, just because at least he's had kind of more experience in front of main events, big crowds, the pressure. But as we'll see. We'll see if Teixeira shines, steps up. We'll see.
And we've seen it. We've seen slow start Derrick Lewis like unleash later. We saw Alexander Volkov. Oh my gosh, what was the guy's name? Abdurakhimov, Shamil Abdurakhimov. That was like a fight. Like, oh wow, Derrick's not looking good in this one. The fourth round, he just goes nuts, and you're like, oh yeah, it's Derrick Lewis. He can like literally punch out any human being on the planet. You're talking about what great shape he's in, Casey. He came in 261 pounds, which apparently is considerably lighter than he's been before. I mean, it's only by a few pounds, but normally he's closer to the heavyweight limit of 266. But yeah, 261, so good for him. I mean, again, at that age, if you are shedding off a few pounds here and there, it can make a huge difference. So yes, good stuff for the big man. Casey, you sound very optimistic about his chances. Again, I did want to run down some of the names he's beaten. I just mentioned Abdurakhimov. I mentioned Alexander Volkov. I mentioned Ngannou. Whatever, people can forget that one if they want. Marcin Tybura, Gabriel Gonzaga, Curtis Blades. I mean, this guy has beaten, again, some of the best. Casey, let's get your prediction. Does he add Tallison Teixeira to that list, or does Tallison Teixeira defy MMA math and surpass some of those guys by doing what they couldn't do by taking out Derrick Lewis?
can't go against my my Houstonian, my fellow Houstonian.
Ooh.
So I'm going. If he can get past that first round, I think that first 3 minutes are going to be very dangerous. For Derrick. Derrick is a slow starter. Teixeira has a lot of early stoppages. If he can get past that first 3.5 minutes or so, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, get it to the second round, especially, I'm very confident Derrick Lewis could win. And so I am picking Derrick Lewis by, let's go third round, ground and pound.
Okay. A little classic Derrick Lewis, a little Donkey Kong action, just smashing a guy on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, that visual is very possible. I could see that for sure. I'll go the other way, Casey. I'll go the other way. I'll go with the younger man. It's a huge step up in competition. I do not know if Tallison Teixeira is ready for this. I really don't. I'm very bad at gauging when fighters have kind of reached a point where a certain age where like they're just so far past their prime, you can't bet on them anymore. I don't know if Derrick Lewis is there yet. I mean, again, he won his last fight. He's actually won 2 of his past 3 fights. Most of his losses are still only to like top 8, top 7 guys. So it's not like Derrick Lewis has been getting crowned by the, quote unquote, next generation of heavyweights. I think the last time you could argue it happened was maybe the Tai Tuivasa fights and Sergey Pavlovich fights, but I don't know. Even it didn't feel like
And that was
it didn't feel like
until the knockout.
Sure.
He was in that fight. Honestly, the fight that really worries me by Derrick Lewis was I always go back to the who was it again? Oh, the Sergey Spivak fight when he just looked like
that was bad.
He looked. I thought he was done. I thought like that could have been his last fight. He just looked like he didn't want to be there. He just basically kind of like f this, let me go home with my 1 check. And but he has come back from that with 2 out of 3 wins. But he has been out for a year. But I don't know. I saw Derrick Lewis. He seemed very positive. He looked in really good shape about a month and a half out. So I'm positive. I'm gonna swing and bang. I think you still got it, Derrick Lewis. You still got it.
Yeah, it's hard to beat the vibes. But I will go with the conservative pick here. I am going to go with Tallison Teixeira. Casey, let's and I'll go. I'll say Tallison continues his unblemished record of first round finishes. Yes, finishes Derrick Lewis in the first round. Well, I'm kind of like with you. Like I feel like he has to. Topology pretty like split. Not 50-50, but not as heavy as you would think given the odds. The odds are around minus 250. In Tallison Teixeira's favor, but Topology 35% Lewis, 65% Teixeira. So a pretty strong contingent. Still think that the considerably older fighter can pull it off. Of course, almost everyone picking knockout. 97% picking Lewis by KO. Teixeira 96% picking him to win by KO. So very few people.
I want to see a Derrick Lewis submission at some point.
See,
I want to see Derrick. Yeah, Derrick Lewis rear naked choke, which is. I don't know if that's possible for him to do. It's just the visual of Derrick Lewis like just backpacking Teixeira and just getting his hooks in and just properly getting that choke in. That's my dream. It's not gonna happen. But
he allegedly armbarred someone once upon a time. Were you aware of this?
I think like way back in Bellator, right? It was like or like pre-Bellator.
Oh, this is Worldwide Gladiator 2 in Pasadena, Casey. Raheem Cleveland, second round armbar submission. Wow, and that was 15 years ago. Has not submitted anyone since.
Derrick Lewis has been a professional fighter for 15 years, over 15 years.
I mean, longer. That's just 2010, 15 years. Man.
Wow, that's really
crazy.
Cool. That's a
crazy. Again, like I said. That's what's so fun about anytime we see Derrick Lewis now. Like I said, is there's just so many numbers. How many heavyweight appearances can he rack up? How many knockouts can he rack up? How many just because we feel like he has to be near retirement. Just logistically speaking, he has to. But you don't see him you just don't see him mentioning it. If there's anyone that is taking their career 1 fight at a time, it is most definitely Derrick Lewis. It's just you know what, he feels like fighting tomorrow, he's probably going to book another fight. He doesn't feel like fighting, he'll probably just say I should say not tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, you know what I mean, after his next fight. He'll probably like, you know what, I'm done. There won't be any big pomp and circumstance. Maybe he'll book 1 more fight as his retirement fight, but that's about it. But you really he will not be asking for a retirement tour. He'll have one of the funniest Hall of Fame inductions ever. That's for damn sure, because you just know he does not care. He could not care less about it.
It's not that he doesn't care. But I just think he has set his mind very focused on like this is prize fighting. This is a career. Yeah, the fans are cool, whatever. Yeah, he wants people to like him, but that is not his primary concern. His primary concern is getting in there and getting 2 checks and hopefully getting a bonus, and just paying off his house, buying nice cars, and supporting his family. He's very upfront about that, and that's why I kind of appreciate that about him. He's just very like fans. That's cool, whatever. Promotion, cool, whatever. But like, I'm here to make money. I'm just here to make money. That's it. UFC, whatever, any organization. I'm just here to make money, and I appreciate that honesty. He's never like I'm doing it for the mark. Like he's like Steve Wonderboy, not in a bad way, but Steve Wonderboy is a very very different approach to martial arts than Derrick Lewis. So I think that kind of contrast is really fun about this sport.
Yeah. Derrick Lewis, 8 career UFC post-fight bonuses, so he's made about $400,000 just in bonuses, and we know he's on the higher end as far as salaries go. So good for Derrick Lewis. Hey, as long as he's healthy, as long as he feels comfortable going in there, keep getting in there, keep flicking those checks.
I wonder if he will have the record for most main events by the time he retires.
For heavyweight,
yeah.
Quite possible.
With all the fight nights and stuff,
yeah. He's been around so long, and they need to start giving him a percentage of the gate.
Yeah.
All right, because I know he broke the record for UFC St. Louis last May, and I bet you he didn't get a percentage. He should get a 0.5% of that gate or something, because I know they'll say, well, whoever's in there, someone's got to headline these shows, and clearly you guys trust Derrick Lewis, so give the man his money, give the man his slice of the pie. All right. Casey, I'm glad you mentioned Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. We should go to the main event. We should transition to the main event. Wonderboy, 42 years young, finding himself in kind of a similar position, facing a young Brazilian killer in Gabriel Bonfim. I don't know if this was intentional, the way the UFC booked it.
Yeah, it's kind of the same fight, but it's different weight class. Yes.
Kind of. I think the age gap is almost the same. I actually don't quite know Gabriel Bonfim's age. Yeah, it's actually exact. It's almost the same, 15 years. Gabriel Bonfim, 27 years old. Him and his brother both heavily hyped as soon as they joined the UFC. This is a very strange fight in the sense that for the longest time, Wonderboy was kind of trying to not avoid these, but like anytime he was interviewed, I think he made it pretty clear he doesn't want to be a stepping stone. He doesn't want to be someone that the younger fighters come up, like a gatekeeper that younger fighters come up and like make their name off of. Like, I don't think he would have been against it if the UFC sent him those names, but I get the feeling him and his management team did like a good job with communicating with the UFC. Like, hey, let's stick with people who are like in the top 15. Let's stick with people who like, with 1 or 2 wins gives Wonderboy another chance at a title shot, one more shot. Because that's not what this fight does. If he beats Gabriel Bonfim, knocks him out in the first round, 30-27's him, like just dominates him, it really doesn't move the needle for Wonderboy as far as being a contender. Now, again, maybe he's in that Derrick Lewis stage where, hey, he's made a lot of money in the UFC, just happy to keep collecting checks, and if so, that's great. But this is a weird one. This is a very strange one, because Derrick Lewis has always been open to fighting anybody. Stephen Thompson is still kind of stuck with names. Maybe you could say Joaquin Buckley, but Joaquin Buckley was on a win streak at the time, was already kind of had a name. Shavkat Rakhmonov, obviously essentially the number 1 contender, or was working his way to being the number 1 contender. Kevin Holland as a name, Bilal Muhammad's a name, Gilbert Burns a name. So those are his last 5 fights. As far as name recognition goes, Gabriel Bonfim is way, 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 way behind these guys. Now, again, that could change with whenever Wonderboy. But Casey, what do you think this signals for Stephen Thompson? Is he near the end of his career? I'm sorry, we know he's near the end of his career, but is he like much closer than we think, especially if he loses? Or do you think he's hoping that he gets a win here and then gets back in sort of that same tier of names that I just kind of brought up?
Well, I think that's how the UFC sees it. The UFC sees it as, I think this is nearing the end. He still has name value, so we are going to use that name value to create other stars, and that's what they're doing right here. And this is great promotion. This is what you're supposed to do. I kind of always say this. This is how the sport works. You come up, you're a young lion, you beat the prospects, and Wonderboy recognizes this. I appreciate that, because Wonderboy talks about when he started coming up the ranks, he got that opportunity against guys like I think Jake Ellenberger. I might skipping some names, but that's how it works. That's how Wonderboy kind of became a star, and now. This is the life cycle, and now it's the other way around. Now Wonderboy is he's the gatekeeper. You got to beat this guy to create a name for yourself. I think Buckley was the best example. When Buckley just slept Wonderboy, I think we're like, oh man, Buckley's really good. I get, and that's just how it works. And this is the same type of fight. Now, if Wonderboy's okay with that, because he's not going to go up the rankings. If he beats Bonfim, he's going to get another welterweight prospect killer. I mean, I don't know who, but a guy like there's a lot of Morales, something like that. He'll just get like another killer. Like he's just gonna get killer after killer. That's what the UFC will use his name for. Wonderboy doesn't fight for free. I'm sure he gets a nice little paycheck too. So the UFC wants their money's worth, and he will face tough young welterweights for a good while. And I think that's how you should do it as a promoter.
The funny thing is, he's like not maybe the greatest gatekeeper because I think he's shown that he's like, a tier above certain fighters, right? Let's go look at his recent wins. So Vicente Luque, it was like a toss-up. It wasn't like Luque was heavily favored to beat him, but handled Luque, in classic Wonderboy fashion. Jeff Neal, also a pick'em, so I'm just looking back to the old odds here. But again, these are two fighters that were kind of behind Wonderboy in the rankings and were looking to come up. So he staved them both off, then lose to Burns, then lose to Bilal. Kevin Holland, another guy who was kind of hoping for,
Hey, are we back? Wait. All right. Hold on. Internet fun in hotels. This is cool. I have the control over it. Yay. So as you were saying,
I was saying. All right, Casey, fix it in post. Yeah. So I was just saying, the thing with Wonderboy that is so kind of like tricky is so many times you watch him and he looks like the same guy he was 10 years ago, if that makes sense. Even superficially, if you took a picture of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson now and you took a picture from like 2015, you'd be like, okay, he looks a little bit older, but he looks very much the same. If you took like the first couple of rounds against Joaquin Buckley and you compared that to like the Jeff Neal fight or like the Jorge Masvidal fight, so like you'd be like, oh yeah, this is how Wonderboy fights. It looks the same. It's really hard to perceive like how much of a step he might have lost, and it could be so minuscule, right? It could be so minuscule. But with his fighting style, I guess there's just no room for error, and of course, there's also no way to gauge. We can't measure someone's chin, right? We don't know. There's no meter we can actually physically see or measure to say, oh well, the chin has this much durability. Like we don't know. So that might have gone as well, right? I think he kind of has an underrated chin. I think when we think of Wonderboy,
I think he still has a great chin.
Like being so.
Honestly, I still think he's a great chin. It's just when you're.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you. When you're, he's the type of fighter that he really has to, that karate style with the hands down. You really have to rely on your athleticism and your reactions. So if your reactions are just not even like a half second slower, a quarter second slower, then the Joaquin Buckley situations happen. The Pettis situation happened. Like fights he was winning, but that style of just like hands down, just back out just enough. You just got your vision has to be so on, just a little bit off. And like I said too, and like I said before, he's a guy that you know exactly what you're getting. There is just so much film on him. Like these other camps, these coaches, they know what they're doing. And like Buckley's camp, they knew to knock out Stephen Thompson, you have to get him against the cage because he's a very back and forth fighter. So he's gonna just jump out of range. But once he gets in that little what do you call it, a little zone by the cage where he runs out of space to back up, that's exactly how he gets knocked out big. Yeah. How does Shafkat beat him? Remind me of how that fight went. I can't quite remember.
Shafkat eventually just took him down. There was a lot of pre-fight talk about like
he won the grappling. Yeah, he won the grappling.
Yes. There was a lot of pre-fight talk of like I think Steve Wonderboy. I don't know if he was serious or not, saying like, oh, I hope Shafkat stands with me, and blah blah. But eventually Shafkat just said, nah, I'm gonna do what I can do, and I'm a great wrestler. Take him down.
I don't think Bonfim's that guy, but he is a very athletic, well-rounded. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't get future title contender from him, but I definitely get jumping in that top 10 at some point.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, he's explosive. Like, he is crazy explosive. Again, this is where we talk about that gap of like maybe 2 years ago, maybe Gabriel Bonfim has like no chance of beating Stephen Thompson, catching him with one of these explosive shots. But now, again, with just maybe a little bit, that reaction time just a little bit slower than it was before, a little bit slower. Maybe Bonfim catches him with a hook, like just catches him with a hook that would have been slipped 2 years ago. Catches him with a flying knee that Stephen Thompson would have scouted easily 2 years ago. So that's I think why the odds are where they are. Where again, Gabriel Bonfim almost a 5-1 favorite, which again is crazy when you consider the gap in experience. I know this is a broken record. We kind of said the same thing with the main. You think about who Stephen Thompson's been in there with. You think about who Gabriel Bonfim's been in there with. It's like, man, like the level of competition isn't even close. But we have to look at age. We have to look at mileage. And Stephen Thompson certainly has more of that as well.
Yeah, 42 at welterweight, that's like 50 at heavyweight. Or like I think you're really pushing it now, especially at this high level. 42 on the regional scene may be different, but 42 at facing, prospects hitting their primes of their career, that is a very tough ask.
Casey, then, are you brave enough? Are you brave enough to pick Wonderboy as you did Derrick Lewis? Are you leaning towards?
I'm a coward. I'm very scared. I'm so scared. No. I'm gonna go Gabriel Bonfim, and strictly because Wonderboy's he is past Wonder Man. He is Wonder, like, kind of getting old, dude. But I would not be shocked if Wonderboy can almost edge out a kind of a boring 3-round kind of all striking decision where he just kind of stays on the outside and Bonfim just can't get past those like kind of side kicks or whatever. But I'll be kind of shocked. I'm pretty confident Bonfim's gonna win. I don't know if he's gonna win with a big knockout, but I think age is just 40. That's just reality. I'm gonna go with reality, and people get old. For Bonfim. Man,
I'm having trouble letting go. Okay, so let's look at the I like to go to math here, guys. So he's only lost again to people who are now in the top 10. Buckley wasn't in the top 10 when so Buckley may have jumped into the top 10 by beating Wonderboy, but Shavkat was definitely in the top 10. Bilal was in the top 10. Gil Burns in the top 10.
And Buckley proved that he is a top 10 fighter after that fight, too.
For sure. His decision losses were to Bilal and Gilbert. Those were wrestling based, though. Those were two guys who just manhandled him, could not get up off his back. So it's not like they outstruck him. Now, you kind of mentioned this before, Casey. I don't know if I see Bonfim doing the same thing. And he is a good grappler, very good grappler. Bonfim's a very good grappler. Does he have the kind of wrestling to take Stephen Thompson down over and over and over again, which might be his best game plan? I'm not sure. And if it's on the feet, I mean, Stephen Thompson doesn't lose a lot of those battles. Okay, Buckley, that's about it. Buckley, other than that, man, he does not get outstruck a lot. Casey, I think I'm going to go the other way again. I don't know if I'm just doing this for the content.
That's what we're all about.
I think I'm going Wonderboy to win a decision. Maybe I'm hanging on too long. But I just I can't quit him yet. Can't quit him yet.
I wouldn't be surprised. Basically, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not gonna be like, what? That should lead the story. Wonderboy, biggest shocker ever. And he's obviously he's still got it. He's still UFC level for sure. Absolutely. Is he top 10 level? I don't know. We're gonna find out.
I'd really appreciate it if Wonderboy won and you tweeted fraud check at Bonfim. I think that would be tag him, and his brother, and tag his brother too, just for the hell of it. Fraud check. Don't give Stephen Thompson any credit. Don't give Stephen Thompson any credit. Just use the excuse to like slam the Bonfim brothers. That'd be hilarious. No, don't do that, guys. It's gonna be a good fight. We got so many good fights. I don't even need to ask for sleepers because holy crap, we got 2 featherweight fights before. The main and co-main, Calvin Kattar and Steve Garcia, just an amazing fight. Nate Landwehr and Morgan Charrier is gonna be so competitive. I want to see Nate just drag Morgan into a dogfight because I think Morgan can do it, and I just want to see him. I want to see that happen. I think he'll bring the best out of him. Vitor Petrino, Austin Lane again, guys. Like we said, the heavyweight finish drought has. Which one, Casey?
The line on that the Petrino fight. That's a wild line.
Oh boy, yeah, Petrino minus 750 on FanDuel, and I'm kind of okay with it. I Austin Lane, respectfully, I do not think he's that good.
95% of people on Tapology are
Yeah,
picking
that's a lot.
Pacino. That's insane.
That's a lot.
But it
He's
also makes sense. Is anyone picking Lane?
he's coming up from. Let me say he's coming up from light heavyweight. He looks like a big boy. He looks like a filled out like heavyweight. He doesn't look like a guy just coming up. So that's great. We have like oddly not a heavyweight fight, but former heavyweight Junior Tafa making his light heavyweight debut when he fights Tuco Tokos on in the opening fight of the main card. So yeah, we got a lot to look forward to. Like I honestly could do a whole show just talking about these featherweight fights because man, Calvin Kattar, Steve Garcia. Casey, I know you love this fight. I just want to say Garcia 4-0 at featherweight, just coming off a win over Kyle Nelson, 5 straight wins, all finishes, all finished. He has
violent
the longest
finishes too. Yep, violent.
The longest finishing streak right now, tied for the 4th longest UFC knockout streak of all time. He's behind Don Fry, Sergey Pavlovich, who have 6, and Chuck Liddell, who has 7. So if he knocks out Calvin Kattar, he will be alongside Sergey Pavlovich and Don Fry. That's random, and one away from Chuck Liddell. But I mean, that shows you how hard that is. Because this fight, like Calvin Kattar's tough. He's tough.
Dude, Calvin Kattar, you can't finish Calvin Kattar. He'll like you just throw cement blocks at him for 15 minutes, and he'll be like, oh, I guess I'll take a couple weeks off sparring now. It'll be an incredible feat if Steve Garcia can finish Calvin Kattar. I'm predicting him to win. I think Steve Garcia is just he's got it. He kind of came out kind of rocky. He was originally a lightweight, correct? Or was he
Steve Garcia? He was fighting as a lightweight in the UFC. Yep.
Yeah, at first, okay.
He was.
Yeah, but it seems like maybe he got his diet down. He maybe his finances changed so he could focus all of his time into just cage fighting. And the coaches at Jackson Wink seem to really find. I think they found kind of just a really good all-action fighter who the UFC loves, and I think this is a great fight, and it's gonna be. It most likely will be the fight of the night, and I am picking Steve Garcia to win. Now we get the finish. That'd be very tough, but everyone's chin is great till it's not. So we'll see.
Yeah, tough spot for 37-year-old Calvin. 37 years young, I should say. I always like to say it. Calvin Kattar, 4 straight losses, very tough competition. Yusuf Zalal, who has looked like a top 6 or 7 featherweight, honestly, since coming back to the UFC. Aljamain Sterling, former UFC champion, coming up to 145, lost that fight. Arnold Allen was an injury. I know Calvin Kattar was a huge underdog in that fight, but technically did not lose it straight up. His only quote unquote knockout loss, by the way, was the knee injury in that fight. He has never actually been finished by strikes. And split decision with Josh Emmett that could have gone Kattar's way. Mm-hmm. Pretty damn close fights. So this is almost like when Petr Yan went on that 3-fight losing streak, and we're like, oh man, is Petr Yan out of it? Now I know Calvin Kattar is not on Petr Yan's level, but I will say this 4-fight losing streak, I just feel like it's not as bad as it looks. I really feel like it's not as bad as it looks, but he does need to win. I don't think he gets released with a loss. Like I said, Casey, they probably put on a fight of the night performance. And while that you can get released off one of those, it's rare. I think especially when you're as well liked as Calvin Kattar is and has delivered so consistently. It's not like his first fight of the night. I think it'll actually be his 5th, 6th, his 6th fight of the night if he wins. That's insane. That's Justin Gaethje level of all action. And Steve Garcia will definitely bring out the best in him. So great stuff there. Actually, let me run down the prelims real quick. We normally skip ahead, but I do want to say we got some storylines going on here. Chris Curtis, Casey, he's going back to welterweight. Finally, the action man, dropping down to 170. He's been fighting as a middleweight and doing fine in the UFC. But once upon a time he was a welterweight star.
I forgot he was a welterweight.
That's right. Yeah, and he was just having fun at middleweight, not cutting weight, fighting top 10 guys, fighting top 15 guys, winning 2, losing 1. So I think he's entering this probably the last 5 years of his career, and he wants to make one more earnest run at 170. They've given him another veteran in Max Griffin. So great matchmaking there. Jake Matthews, Chidi and Njokuani. Jake Matthews, crazy to think how long this guy's been in the UFC. He joined as a teenager once upon a time, and now he has many, many UFC fights. And Njokuani. Casey, have you been keeping up with this weigh-in drama?
No, tell me more.
Casey, do you follow my Twitter? Casey? I'm dropping spicy takes on here and truth bombs.
I don't do Twitter. I don't do Twitter.
Okay. Chidi weighed in today on video, weighed in 171.5, half a pound over the limit. So I was tracking for quite a while, UFC.com. They usually update. I was looking for the penalty and also if the fight was going to go through. About like 45 minutes ago, I checked again, and it says he has now made weight. But I have not heard anything about a second weigh-in. My guess is just he must have gotten a second weigh-in. I don't know what the Nashville protocol are. They were not doing the 1 hour we want everyone in, and then the second hour is for reweighs, because he showed up near the end of the second hour, and I wonder if he got an additional hour after that. That would be my guess, but we don't know officially. It sounds like he has made weight, but we don't know for sure. So a weird one there. Good fight if it happens. Hopefully everything's okay there. Chidi's had a lot of weight cut issues since like his regional days. It's crazy. Lauren Murphy.
I'm forgetting. I know Chidi. He bounces between 85 and 70. Correct. He's one of those guys too, right?
Well, kind of. But in Bellator, he was like doing catch weight bouts. Like his goal was clearly always to fight at 170. I think that was the plan. They wanted him to fight at 170, but he would book 175-pound bouts, 180-pound bouts. Like in Bellator, he never could get anything going at 170. It just didn't happen. And then he came to UFC as a middleweight, and he made welterweight once, and he's missed weight his last two fights, or at least initially missed weight. We don't know about this one. This could be a make. So it's all over the way. I wish he'd go to 185, but I get it. He'd be kind of small up there too. So he's just one of those guys that's really stuck in between. I don't know if they're ever going to be able to figure that out. Lauren Murphy.
Yes,
that's it. I just wanted to say Lauren Murphy. This is her retirement fight.
Yeah, I was gonna throw that comment up later, but apparently that's what I heard in the comments. Aaron Bronstetter announced it, I guess. Maybe she announced. I'm not sure.
She has mentioned on social. She's mentioned on social media.
Okay, okay. So the final walk for Lauren Murphy, former title contender, former Invicta bantamweight champion. Lauren Murphy.
Alaska Zone. I don't know how many fighters we have that are from Alaska. I mean, there's a few for sure. I know I'm forgetting some obvious ones off the top of my head, but not exactly a hotbed for athletes in general. Shout out Trajan Langdon. But other than that, Lauren Murphy representing for one of the lesser productive states when it comes to athletes. Has not fought since January 2023. Obviously, wanted to just kind of back up, take some time off. I think she knew she had maybe 1 or 2 fights left in her career. What's the rush to go back in? So very happy for her. Like whatever happens, I think they've given her a winnable fight. I imagine Eduardo Mora probably is still favored. I will check right now real quick. Right? Because this is, again, it feels like they're just sending Lauren Murphy off. Sorry guys, let me check FanDuel right here. Minus 620. There's a lot of big odds in this card, by the way, guys. If you are underdog thirsty, I mean, you got at least I think 5 fights that are 5-1 or more, which doesn't happen that often in the UFC. So I'm just saying, or if you're parlay crazy, and you feel like these sure things are gonna like rocket, parlay them. You probably maybe get it down to minus 175 or something, but I don't know. This isn't no bet sparring, guys. I'm not going to tell you how to bet. I would always just say don't bet on MMA. But yeah, Lauren Murphy, happy trails. If this is the last fight, wishing her the best. Kenny Nzechukwu, Walter Walker, again, our heavyweight opener. We could see the heavyweight finish, curse, and right there, right off the bat. Could happen, or we could get. I really like this fight. I think this fight can be good. I think this fight can be just really. I just hope they gas themselves out after about 2.5 minutes. Stop it.
And I just hope it's so sloppy and tired. I love sweaty heavyweight fights.
Don't you put that on me? Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby? Neither of these guys really. I feel like neither of these guys are really heavyweights. Kennedy, of course, has fought most of his UFC career in the 205-pound division. Walter. He's tall, but I feel like he could cut to 205 if he wanted to. He came in at 244.5 on the scale. But hey, if you don't have to,
how do you say? Is it Walter? V?
It's Walter. Yeah, it's Walter. Yes, Walter. Very German.
Wait, he's German?
It's confusing because you'd want to say Walter Walker, wouldn't you? It makes you want to say Walter Walker, but it's not. He's Johnny Walker's younger brother. So obviously it's Walter Walker.
His younger German brother. Yeah.
His younger German. Listen, Johnny's not the most Brazilian name either. I don't know if you heard about this, but
also Walker. I gotta. Yeah, their names. I don't I don't understand Brazilian names, to be honest.
No, we got to consult
I've been doing
Guilherme.
this right. I've been doing
Guilherme
this
will know.
20 years. It just doesn't, I don't understand. I'm like, okay, sure.
We've got a kind of a sleeper fight, lightweight bout. Mitch Ramirez and Mike Davis. Guys, I
Dude,
don't
I
want
love
to.
Mike Davis. I love.
We
Mike
all do.
Davis. I love.
Casey, I don't want to jinx anything. This will be the first. Oh, we're not there yet. But when he steps into the cage, when not if when he steps in the cage, it will be his first time fighting twice in a year since 2019. Has not fought more. Yeah, he just like little. I think it's little health things. Just cannot get in there. He's so talented, but it sucks because there was a stretch where he was on a nice kind of win streak and like in his prime. And I'm not saying he's not in his prime now. He's 32. But again, this is lightweight, right? Like losing those prime years, it sucks. Like I feel like this is a guy who legitimately could have challenged for a title and maybe still can. Like maybe still can. Mike Davis is so good. But man, when you only fight once a year.
That would be wild if Mike Davis can even get.
It's going to be tough.
Just because, I mean, obviously lightweight's incredibly tough, and
yeah,
it just doesn't have the name value to get those fights. But if he can start fighting twice a year, 3 times a year, how old is he? How old do you have in front of you?
He's 32, so he's not like super old. But for lightweight, that is like getting near the.
Yeah, he's got to get. This is it. I mean, and you know we always say must win.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's not a must-win for Mike Davis's career in UFC, but it's a must-win if he ever expects to be, any sort of, even in the conversation about being in the top 15. He has to win tomorrow.
He is a massive favorite.
Yeah.
Minus 1050 on FanDuel. Somehow, by the way, not the biggest favorite on the card. We'll go to the next one I'm about to mention. But first, let me say, Guilherme just messaged me and said Johnny Walker's name is actually Walker Johnny.
What? Is
I don't know.
Is it Chinese where you say the surname first?
Exactly. If you are, I know you're watching live. You cannot just drop those things on me in the middle of a show. And Casey and I.
My mind's blown. What?
After 55 minutes, Casey, we finally found our rhythm, and now Guilherme just blew the whole thing up. We finally found our 2-man rhythm, just blew the whole thing up. No, I'm looking on Wikipedia. Walker Johnny de Silva Barra de Souza.
Oh, okay. So Johnny Walker is just kind of one of those fun names that they just use.
Yeah. So his first name. His first name is actually Walker, and I guess part of his middle name is Johnny, and then he's just like, hey, Johnny Walker. This is a great name for
okay. That's just his kind of fight name. All right. Okay.
Things are making
more sense. Things are making more sense.
Walker Johnny.
Yeah.
Thanks, Guy.
Thanks.
But yes, Casey, that's right. The biggest favorite.
Information. Yeah.
Your facts. The biggest favorite is young Fatima Klein facing the also young Melissa Martinez. Fatima Klein on FanDuel minus 1,300 favorite. Like these are Bellator prelim odds.
Yeah, Bellator prelims walked, so UFC Nashville run.
These are when Bellator signs a 2-time NCAA wrestling champion to fight on their prelims, and then they line him up against like an 0-3 guy. That's crazy, because I think Melissa Martinez is super talented, but again, so is Fatima Klein. Fatima Klein has kind of been known as a future star in this division for a long time. So she had one misstep. She fought at flyweight in her UFC debut against Jasmine Jasudavicius. That loss has aged really well, I think. She's not a flyweight either. That's just not her weight class. So no shame in that. Took her first loss. Fine, you learn from it. Dominated Victoria Dudikova. Was a huge favorite in that fight. And now very, very heavily favored to run through Super Melly. But we'll see. Like I said, I like Melissa Martinez. I do understand the odds. However, Casey, also Klein fighting on her birthday, July 12th. She turns. She turns.
Dude, that is a crazy coincidence. That means she's fighting on your birthday too.
Yes, amazingly. Yes. It's funny how that works out. But yes, she is turning 25 on Saturday. It's the same time she steps in the cage. So if you are the believer that fighters never lose on their birthdays, and I do not have a statistic for this, then yeah, put your life savings on Fatima Klein, because yes, minus 1,300 favorite. I did not see Tapology. It has to be 99% Klein. Yeah, no. 92. 92%.
All right.
That's not like Mike Davis is higher. Mike Davis is at 96%. What was the one you said before? Didn't you say one was like 98%? Casey?
Petrino is 95%.
95%. So they're both higher than.
Oh, actually, Chris Curtis is 95% too. That's kind of wild.
Wow. So those are all higher than.
Yeah, Mike Davis is the highest according to Tapology with the fans right now by 1%.
Those are all higher than Klein, who, depending how it closes, is one of, I think, the 5 or 6 biggest favorites in UFC history, maybe top 3. This is one of the widest odds margins I've seen in ever. So minus 1,300 favorite on FanDuel.
Is Martinez an atom weight? Just fighting at
strawweight? She might be. She's not a big strawweight for sure. It could be one of those situations. Yeah, it is unfortunate to see that. But yeah, 92% on Klein. We got some wide odds here, people. I say, again, if you're one of those people who likes to gamble, and you shouldn't, especially on MMA, if you got $2, I say, like, or you got $10, sprinkle $2 a bunch of these underdogs just for fun. Maybe one of them hits. But also keep in mind, the odds are set there for a reason, guys. So that is your card.
I feel like we do this a lot. We're like, those are crazy odds, and then they get their ass kicked in 30 seconds.
It happens.
Okay, it makes sense.
It happens. Never forget Shanna Dobbs. Oh, you mean that it goes as the odds? Yes.
We're exactly. Like, those are crazy odds. I'm gonna put some. Oh, never mind. Oh, okay, I get why the odds are that way.
Yeah, we always say anything can happen in a fight, but I mean, there's a reason some fights are set the way they are. All right, guys, thank you, everyone. That was an abnormally deep dive into a card, but again, because I do feel like that this card has some intriguing storylines top to bottom. Like even the fights that don't have storylines should be showcases for certain fighters, and that's always fun to watch, I think.
I guess I don't want to say the problem with this card is like I like this card a lot. It's it's missing that one storyline hook. I guess the one like that's all. There's no I don't know like the winner is fighting for maybe not a championship fight, but like they're gonna fight the number 1 contender. Nothing on this card suggests that, but a lot of prospects they could definitely potentially jump into facing someone that's ranked. So, it's a hardcore fans card. It's a proper fight night. Yeah. It just, it's just, I don't know. Something's missing.
Yeah, no.
I don't know what it is, but I don't know. Maybe so much else is going on in the MMA combat sports world. I don't know. It's just, I'm not sure, to be honest.
Casey, none of these guys or gals getting a title fight anytime soon. But listen, 18 months from now, you could totally convince me that Tallison Teixeira, Steve Garcia, Fatima Klein, any of these people are in the title picture. Yeah, I'd believe it. So the poll, I ran a poll. Casey, you didn't see that. I did that without your permission.
I love polls.
It was who wins the main event. 62%. Derrick Lewis.
Yeah.
60. A lot of respect for the older fighter. I like it. Questions are coming in now, Casey. Let's do about 10-15 minutes of questions, and we will get out of here. We'll free our viewers to enjoy their evenings.
Hold on. No, you're not enjoying your evenings. You're going to sit in front of your TV and watch the wonderful boxing events.
Oh, yes. We should tell people, again, it's useless information if you are listening on Saturday. But, guys, if you have Netflix, Taylor Serrano 3 is on Netflix. You don't have to do anything extra. You don't got to call your pay-per-view provider. You don't got to get the black box in and, tune the antenna. And you don't got to call nobody. You don't have to, turn on your Netflix. It'll probably be front and center. They'll probably pushing hard. Just Taylor Serrano 3, all women card. Check it out, guys. Yeah. Check it out. It's on tonight.
Dude,
there's no reason not to.
I'm going to talk a little bit about this card. I am actually very hyped for this card. I've been in New York all week. I've been just kind of, I've been to the fighter hotel, so I've got to see all the fighters, see their camps. I've seen them work out and everything. I really like this card. I didn't know very much about anyone on the card outside the main event. I knew a little bit about Baumgartner, but it's cool. I like this card. I'm very optimistic about it. I hope we get good matchups. I hope we get good fights tonight, and the main event will definitely be awesome. So that's all. I just hope everyone watches. I hope everyone supports lady boxing and watches the fights tonight. I think it should be a great weekend for combat sports.
And if you guys have time, again, we are hours away from the fight, the card actually happening. Excuse me. I did a robbery review I did a robbery review of the first two Taylor Serrano fights, and boy, first of all, what a pleasure it was to watch those fights again.
They're great. They're freaking great, man.
Yeah, but before I rewatched them, I was like, oh man, am I just kind of like, was I caught up in the moment? Like, were these fights really that good? And then I watched, they were actually better the second time around, because I was sort of focusing on like the more minute details, and I was like, Jesus, these fights are good. These fights, like they're the perfect mix of like, there's parts of it that are technical, and then there's parts where both fighters just bite down and like, let's throw down. Let's throw down. Screw it. Like I just want to. Let's see. Bring it.
Left hooks.
Bring it. Bring it. Game plan just goes out the window, and they just start hammering each other. They're both fights are so good. They're amazing fights. So one of them is free on YouTube, guys. The one that was not on Netflix, it's free on YouTube. You can look it up. Anyone can watch it. And then the other one, of course, was part of the Tyson Paul cards. So do yourselves a favor, man. Rewatch those. And remember, they unfortunately have those stupid 2-minute time limit on those fights. But it does mean that both fights can be watched like within an hour. You can literally watch both fights in an hour if you kind of skip past the corner stuff. So amazing stuff. Check out my robbery review, guys. I won't spoil it, but I will say it's a little different than my usual calls. People know me. I'm pretty reticent to call fights a robbery, but I was, I tried to meet you guys halfway in this one. I know there was a lot of outrage over, especially the second fight. Maybe not so much the first fight, but the second fight. Oh boy, I remember people were not happy with that call.
Oh yeah. I watched that fight. I watched. Yeah. So I watched the second fight. It was at Cowboy Stadium. So I was actually on the floor. I wasn't in the crowd, but I watched it from about 30 feet away on the 30-yard line or the normal football we play, and definitely in the crowd, everyone felt Serrano won that fight, and so that's why we have a rematch, because technically Taylor is up 2-0, but that's not how people feel. So
run it back.
Much looking forward to it. All right,
run it
questions.
Back. Okay, what do we got? What do we got, Casey?
One super chat before we get to the regular questions.
From Aquiles. What's up, Aquiles Jr., our old friend? It's just not really a question, a statement. I don't know how people see any other outcome than Derrick just rolling techs. Yeah, again, if you are an MMA math fan, you just look at who they faced, and the gap in competition is huge. Sometimes it doesn't matter. I'm sure. I know we see so many fights in the UFC now where a veteran is thrown in there with a younger fighter who doesn't have the same pedigree, but Father Time waits for no man, and the younger fighter just surpasses them, right? Like we just saw, for example, Brandon Royval and Joshua Van. If you look at their level of competition, for me, it's like, man, Brandon Royval has been in there with literally everyone in the top 10, and now Joshua Van, very talented fighter, has not fought near the level of competition of Brandon Royval, and was just knocked out by Charles Johnson like 4 fights ago. For me, the gap was too much. But if you watch that fight, you didn't know anything about their histories. I mean, Joshua Van was right there with them, man. Technically speaking, athleticism-wise, that was a phenomenal fight. So, I understand picking Derrick Lewis, but boy, sometimes youthful exuberance can go a long way. So, Casey's picking Derrick Lewis too, and apparently 62% of our viewers are, and not a bad chunk on Tapology either. 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3 voters are picking Derrick Lewis. So, I feel like there's quite a bit of money on him as well.
All right, thank you, Keelis. I got some other questions. From the Brazilian Beast.
Hey, birthday today and tomorrow. So somehow, it's it is my birthday today, but also I have the same birthday as Fatima Klein. Kind of weird.
Happy birthday and happy future birthday. Wasn't your birthday last year at the same time? Yeah.
It was like my birthday yesterday, which is weird.
Yeah. Happy belated birthday. Sorry.
Thank you. It's okay. That's you're busy. You're very busy. You've been very busy in New York. I'm amazed you even remembered. So,
thank you, Guy. Mr. Boza, longtime commenter.
Oh, Joseph Boza, what do you got for us today? Petrino has lost his last 2 fights. He is minus 750. That is insane. Austin Lane is a joke of an opponent. Yeah, it's crazy, guys. This is how matchmaking goes, right?
Yeah, I was actually shocked when I saw he was a 2-fight losing streak and had that giant favorite. Yeah.
Listen, you want to talk about weird gaps in competition? Going from Anthony Smith and Dustin Jacoby to Austin Lane is extremely strange. Anthony Smith, I'm pretty sure still a top 10 light heavyweight when they fought. maybe at least in the top ranked. Dustin Jacoby, I would say top 20. I know they don't keep a top 20 ranking in the UFC, but I think you would have to put him in the top 20 of that division. So yeah, extremely tough opponents for Petrino. And now changing divisions, also important thing to factor in. So he's doing all the right things to kind of make himself a heavy favorite. It's like, oh, I'm in my right weight class now, and I'm definitely a different caliber of opponent. So yeah, it sounds bizarre. I think Joseph, you're right. It is insane, but also not surprising at all. He should be heavily favored against Austin Lane, who kind of is kept around the UFC precisely for these reasons. But Austin Lane was also a huge underdog against a certain Robelis de Spain. I don't know if you guys remember that. And guess what? He won. So
undefeated karate combator.
Wow, there's actually yes, exactly. Yeah, think about that. Think about who he beat. I'm trying to find the odds here. He actually Well, he was a big underdog, but not as big as he is against Petrino. So he was a big underdog to Robelis, and he played the spoiler there. Maybe he does it again. I don't know.
Thank you. This one's for you, AK.
Please don't let this be. I saw it. Thank you, X Duran. How has Tough been going? Fantastic. I mean, this is an evergreen comment. It's fantastic. I will say, actually, and this was true of last season as well, if I recall correctly, like the fights in the show are good, man. The fights in the show are good. I think they've done a better job of like finding the right talent and probably picking the right weight classes to be on the show. So yeah, entertaining fights every week. I'm like back to enjoying what the show kind of is now, which is just like, oh, you get to now essentially every week is you get two fighters and you get to learn a little bit more about their lives, and then you get a fight. It's the kind of time we don't really get when you have like a 14 fight card. Like you're not getting a comprehensive look into Mitch Ramirez's life before he fights Fatima Klein. You're not getting you're not learning a lot about Eduardo Mora or Fatima Klein, right? Like, and that's fine. That's these fighters are having a different kind of exposure. They're on a UFC card. They're getting a lot of interviews. But I always think Ultimate Fighter does a really good job of like providing you this nice like little slice of like their lives and why you should be interested in them. And again, I'm not saying that that's something they should try and replicate for your average fight night broadcast because it can't be done. But that's kind of why the Ultimate Fighter exists now. Does win it?
It's literally the whole point.
Pretty much.
Since the coaches aren't fighting, right? It's Chael and DC this year. Yeah, I guess. So they're fighting.
And they've been great. Chael and DC have been great. A little boring, as you'd expect. Again, there's just not a lot of heat between them. But also, again, like I said, I like that. I've always advocated for having coaches that are more like camera and microphone friendly, as opposed to insisting on.
They actually like
and coaching. Like coaching. Yes, that are actually coaches.
Yeah, yeah. DC
you
and
remember
Chael enjoy coaching.
Yeah. So that aspect I'm enjoying. Like it's like, let me put it this way: if you're a Laps Tough fan and you decide to tune into the season, you would enjoy it quite a bit. It's much better than the, like, with all due respect to the Ultimate Fighter 31 McGregor Chandler season, which we did tough hang for, which was a great time, but it was definitely disappointing in terms of like, oh, you thought they'd do something more, like when they had the star power of Conor, and instead it was just like slotted into the generic format, and Conor didn't even show up.
It was Conor product placement half the episode.
Yes, when he was there, was there, right? Half the time he didn't even show up. So yes, it's a pretty mundane, like monotonous season as far as like Ultimate Fighter goes, but also like I like the personalities on it. They're doing a lot of international stuff, like just trying to get fighters from different countries. So this is one of the better seasons I've watched in a while. I say it is an easy watch.
Yeah, I had a training partner who recently moved to San Jose, and now he trains at AKA. And he's gone to some wrestling MMA classes that DC runs. And he says DC is, what you see on TV is what you get in reality as far as coaching and stuff. So it's very fun.
I do like this comment from Sleeto. Talk about DC crashing out every time his fighter loses and Chael offering absolutely no coaching besides do something. That is one of the best. Honestly, that's one of the best parts of the show because DC does not offer platitudes. He's been very frustrated the last 2 weeks because essentially he's had guys who he thinks are better fighters if they were just aggressive. And one of his guys just could not pull the trigger, just kept backing up. It was insanely frustrating for him. So that's fun to watch. Some of the best moments on Tough are frustrated coaches. Who could forget, of course, BJ Penn and, oh my gosh, what was this guy's name, Casey? On I feel so bad I cannot remember this right now. Wang. What's it? Andy Wang.
Oh, wow. We're going way back now.
VJ Penn and Andy Wang, and VJ Penn just relentlessly mocking Andy Wang for not using his grappling, not using his jiu-jitsu and losing a stand-up battle. And Andy Wang is just crying his eyes out, and BG Penn is just making fun of him.
We mentioned Andy Wang. I'm just getting PTSD of going back to the Share Dog forums.
Yeah. Better days.
Better days. All right, a couple more comments before we get.
Yes, let's do 2 more.
Yeah. Real quick. God, I can't believe I'm saying this real quick about Tough. This season, is it? I've always enjoyed when they have coaches and they really break it down technically. Like it feels like you're like in a technique class, or is it more just do they kind of just give generic? I mean, they might say technical stuff, but at least for the broadcast, they cut that out and just kind of make it generic. I mean, is it, like can you learn about wrestling by watching it, or is it more kind of like, no, okay, all right?
I will say that. That's not something you're getting this season. They did bring in Ed Herman for one episode. I think he was giving some really cool like ground and pound pointers, but it was not in depth. It was not in depth. It was kind of interesting on like a very surface way. I love all this tough talk, by the way. Mike Heck would never allow this. I love my best friend. If he were here, there was no way he would let us talk about Ultimate Fighter this long. So man, maybe we should do more shows like this. I don't know. That's fantastic. Jay, we need more AK and EKC preview / post shows. Hey, I said at the beginning of the show, I put it in the chat, be careful what you wish for. I don't know what's going to happen. Guys, this is summer. I'll let you guys know a little bit how the sausage is made. We get like a few extra days off a week here and there. So, yes, there are days where it's just going to be me or Jed or, Damon or Mike on or something like that with Casey. So, before the end of the summer, Casey, it might be me and you again. What are you doing for UFC Abu Dhabi, buddy? I'm just saying. What are you doing for UFC Abu Dhabi? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we good.
We'll do one more. Let's do one more. If there's one more, we'll do one more. If there's not, we won't.
I'm not even. What does this say?
Masters of the Universe Classic Mustache. I think that's you, Casey. I know you love your retro T-shirts. When are you going to get a Masters of the Universe 80s style T-shirt with Skeletor and his boys? Can you pull this off? LOL.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. I don't have any Masters of the Universe. Skeletor. Ooh, who would I get? What's your favorite? What's your favorite Master Universe character?
Well, I would want you to get Skeletor, but from the movie, from the live action movie starring Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella as Skeletor. If you got Frank Langella Skeletor on a shirt, I would have a new level of respect for you, and I didn't think that was possible.
Dude, that movie was so bad. I can't tell you, like, I was so scarred as a kid wanting to force myself to like that movie, and it was like, oh, this is not the movie. This is not what I wanted. I think it succeeded. I rented that multiple times. Courtney Cox, a young Courtney Cox was in there. Frank Langella is legitimately fantastic. Was Orko in that movie? I can't remember.
I believe Orko is in that movie in some form, but not like a main character, if I'm not mistaken.
I need a Orko spin-off series, but yeah.
But yeah, great movie, guys. Watch
Team Orko, yeah.
Watch Masters of the Universe if you get the chance, the Dolph Lundgren version.
All right. Thank you, Masters. All right, man.
Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. Thank you, everyone who's listening to this on podcast form, either on Friday evening or if you're listening on Saturday. You'll already have enjoyed Taylor Serrano 3, so that's great. But we are now looking ahead, guys, to UFC Nashville. Derrick Lewis versus Tallison Teixeira. Thanks again, everyone. This is Alexander K. Lee signing off for MMAfighting.com. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye. Bye, AK. Bye, everybody.
Happy birthday, Fatima Klein.
Oh, yeah. Happy belated birthday, AK. And also, happy birthday, AK. And also, happy birthday tomorrow. Is that how it goes?